Creatine is one of the most studied supplements in sports nutrition, but does it actually help triathletes? Let's break down the science and figure out if you should be taking it. And if you're new here, then hey, my name's James. I'm a registered sports and exercise nutritionist. I work with amateur and pro triathletes to help them train and race better, improve their recovery, and do all of this in a healthy, sustainable way. Today we're talking about creatine, and it's a topic that generates a lot of confusion. While it's one of the most researched supplements available, most of that research is focused on strength athletes. So let's break down what this means specifically for triathletes. Let's start with the fundamental science. Creatine isn't just a supplement. It's naturally produced in your body and stored in your muscles. When you're doing high-intensity efforts like sprinting up a hill or pushing through a surge in a race, your muscles need energy fast, and this is where creatine comes in. Think of your muscles' energy systems like overlapping power supplies, each contributing different amounts of energy depending on your effort level and duration. Creatine phosphate provides immediate, powerful energy for very short efforts, about 10 seconds of maximum power. After this, you're increasingly relying on glycolysis, which can happen with or without oxygen, so anaerobically or aerobically. For longer or sustained efforts, your aerobic system becomes the dominant energy source, though all systems continue to contribute to some degree. When you supplement with creatine, studies consistently show that you can increase your muscles' creatine stores by 20 to 30%. This means more capacity for those crucial high-intensity moments. Now, here's where it gets interesting for triathletes. The benefit varies significantly depending on your racing distance. For sprint distance athletes, this extra high-intensity capacity can be valuable. I worked with a sprint distance triathlete who noticed a clear difference in their ability to respond to surges during draft legal races after supplementing creatine. But for long course athletes, the research shows the benefits become much less clear. During a 70.3 or Ironman, you're primarily using your aerobic energy system, where creatine plays a minimal role, which means that long course athletes might not see the same benefits. But let's talk about the practical benefits research has shown. For high intensity training, studies typically indicate improvements of 5 to 15% in activities lasting under 30 seconds. This could mean better quality track sessions, more productive strength training, and potentially improved sprint capacity. However, and this is crucial, we need to acknowledge that most creatine research is short-term. So what I mean here is that while we have clear evidence for immediate benefits in high-intensity performance, the long-term impact on endurance performance isn't as well documented. So what I can't specifically say is that if you supplement creatine every day, then it will help with your long-term performance. It might, but it's not super clear. Now let's address some common concerns I hear from triathletes about creatine. The biggest worry is usually weight gain. When you supplement it, you'll likely gain some weight initially, normally a couple of kilos. But here's what's actually happening. Creatine draws water into your muscles, increasing cellular hydration. So this isn't the same as putting on body fat or getting bloated. It's actually a normal and necessary part of how creatine works. What's interesting is that this weight gain typically stabilizes after the first few weeks. You don't continue to gain weight, and in some cases it will drop back down. While weight might be something that you do want to consider, generally this isn't a good enough reason in my books to not take it. Some triathletes worry about gastrointestinal discomfort, especially during training or racing. While some people might experience mild digestive discomfort the first time they start taking it, this usually resolves by following proper dosing guidelines and ensuring adequate hydration. It's generally very well tolerated, and it's not something that I would usually worry about with people that I'm working with. There's also research suggesting potential cognitive benefits outside of the race environment, and this is really quite a positive area. This could also be relevant for longer races where mental fatigue becomes a factor. But this is still very early in the research stages, so it's not something that I would specifically say as a benefit. Hey, just a quick one. If you're a triathlete who's struggling with your nutrition, whether your recovery seems like it sucks, you're not hitting your session goals, or you're constantly feeling knackered, then check out my free Ultimate Fueling Guide for Triathletes. Learn how to easily optimize what to eat before, during, and after training so that you can recover faster and feel stronger. Link is in the description and comments. It's totally free and it will help you turn nutrition from a struggle into a breeze. All right, back to it. When it comes to safety and implementation, there are several points to consider. Creatine is one of the most well-researched supplements available, with an excellent safety profile. It's a natural product, so you're just increasing what stores you already have available. But in my mind, quality matters. I'd suggest picking a brand that is Informed Sport certified to ensure that your supplement has been tested for banned substances and meets quality standards. The type of creatine matters too. So you might see various forms marketed as superior, but creatine monohydrate remains the most researched and the most cost-effective form. So don't be swayed by marketing claims about advanced or superior forms. They're not worth it. Dosing of creatine is straightforward. Taking 5 grams per day is sufficient to reach and maintain optimal creatine stores. Yes, you can do a loading phase of 20 grams per day for 5 to 7 days to reach saturation more quickly, but it's not necessary. Timing is more flexible than many people realize. Unlike protein or carbohydrates, creatine timing isn't crucial. You don't need to worry about taking it immediately before or after training. Consistency is more important than timing. If you are going to use it, I recommend starting creatine supplementation during a low priority training block. This gives you time to assess how your body responds without risking any impact on important sessions or races. So, should you take creatine? Like with many things in sports nutrition, it depends on your specific situation. If you're a sprint distance triathlete focusing on high intensity training, or you want to maximize your strength training benefits, the research suggests creatine would be worth using because the scientific evidence is strongest for these applications. But if you're primarily focused on long course racing or don't do much high intensity work, there's not heaps of evidence to say that it will help you, but it might. Because there is so much positive research for creatine and not much negative, it's hard to really say not to take it, and it's one of those supplements I would be happiest with a triathlete using. But my main thing would be to say that before you jump to using creatine, make sure that you've got the basics nailed. So focus on things like how to fuel well before your training, how to improve your recovery nutrition, because those are the things that will make way more difference over the long term. I go through how to fuel well before training in this video, and you should go and check that out to find out how to nail your training sessions.